comments you and some of the other candidates made in reference to, I think, the current state of things. I mean, do you think you're inheriting a state that Murphy is leaving in a good shape or not?
I think that, let me start with, let me say it from a political standpoint, because I think this is going to be relevant to your question. I think that you have 6 candidates for the Democratic nomination. Not all 6 can win in November. And I think that if we think it's going to be a referendum solely on Donald Trump, I think we're mistaken, because politics is local. And I think the most dangerous thing that Jack Ciattarelli can say is he's going to say that this person represents 4 more years of Phil Murphy. And I think in certain Democratic rooms, that's okay. But I think in independent rooms and in Republicans' rooms, that is a toxic thing to say. And I think if you are an institutional candidate, if you are the same candidate of the political bosses, if you're the candidate of the same lobbyists, of the same consultants, and you're taken by those consultants, which is some of these candidates, right? I think you have no opportunity to be successful in November, because you're not going to be able to walk away from Phil Murphy's record, which is going to be problematic in the November election. He's done some good things: women's reproductive rights, gun issues, funding the pension, education. He's done some things that I think that leave room to be desired. And I think that it's going to be crucial that we have the right nominee in November, because I don't think everybody can win. Because if you are too close to that political establishment and you are a creature of that political establishment, you're going to lose in November. I don't know if I'm the only one. I think I can win, and I think I'm the best shot at winning because of the lane that I'm in. If you come in and you are defending Phil Murphy as the starting point, you're going to have a hard time moving independents. When independents voted for Donald Trump, there's a huge number of them in the state of New Jersey, and we need to acknowledge the fact that if you're making it solely about a referendum on Donald Trump, you're probably not going to get the traction to move independents and Republicans. You got to talk to them about trains and taxes, affordability, and housing. That's the most important thing. The people that don't like Donald Trump, myself included, that think he is counter to our core values in the Constitution, they are going to be with us. And one of the things that I touched on tonight, which I think is really important, is that you have certain people up there that refuse to speak to the immigrant community or the transgender or the LGBTQ community. And that's important because the message there is that you are willing to sacrifice those people. And that creates a vulnerability in November that is very, very severe. You have some of those candidates up there that was highlighted today that have a very, very jaded track record around this. And I think they're going to be very hard to get over the goal line, because people in those vulnerable communities see it. Whether it's the Immigrant Trust Directive versus the Act, whether it's voting on military personnel's family that have transgender children, those are vulnerable communities. And this is the moment where you need to stand up for that. Not everybody can win in November, because you need to be able to speak to those communities and they know that you're not going to sacrifice them, but at the same time, speak intelligently to independents about trains, about taxes, about the things that Phil Murphy hasn't done well, and not come in defending the party, because the party is broken. That's the truth. The party is broken in many ways. So there are good things about it, and there are great activists, and there are great people, but the party fundamentally, traditionally in New Jersey, you have party lobbyists controlling the entire party. Think about that. It's a crazy thing. You have people that have worked for Horizon and then at the same time are talking about the fact of saying that I'm going to help with insurance issues around core Democratic values. You're either lying to your client or you're lying to the Democratic Party, because those two things don't match. It's a ridiculous situation that we have right here. The party is broken, and if you come in defending all of these aspects of it, you're going to lose.